Hi, this is Kerry Artek with Wicked Stocks, bringing you the daily Apple report for Friday, April 28th, 2023. We are getting close to reaching our objective in the low 170s. I'm going to talk about that in a second. First, if you would click like, please, that would help us a great deal in being found on YouTube. And also subscribe to the Wicked Stocks YouTube channel. You'll be notified each and every time new content has been uploaded that includes the daily Apple report and the daily Tesla report. And check out wickedstocks.com, where we offer a full assortment of daily and weekly video analysis just like this in the daily Triple Q, the daily SPY. We have weekly S&P 500, NASDAQ 100, long bond ETF, the TLT analysis, 2 individual stock picks a week for a very reasonable monthly subscription price, and also a 5-day trial. So, you enter your payment information, and if you don't cancel within 5 days, your card is transacted. Otherwise, you have a 5-day trial if you happen to cancel inside of that time horizon. Anyway, here we are approaching this area that we were talking about following the test of long-term support in the 120s. Very early January, we were mentioning how by some point in 23, that area should be considered in reach. And on the way up, we had a 3 to 5 month indication when we gapped and closed above this long-term channel top, now well below the market at 134.50. And then just about a month ago, we pushed and finally settled above the low 160s, 160.49 as a long-term Fibonacci level that then indicated within 2 or 3 weeks, and we're a month into that, 171.21 on the daily chart, and that is 171.52 on the weekly. Now, I don't expect it today, but it could happen. We might settle the week today above 171.52. And if we do, it should be by a 1% margin if you want to expect if it were to indicate longer-term bullish continuation. And that is upper right, 173.24. Closing today, 173.24 or higher. I think that is a long shot. I don't think the market's going to do that today, but it might. And if we do close at 173.24 or higher today, we have a very long-term buy signal, which I think over the next 5 to 8 months, as we move into the very end of the year, should actually result in testing this long-term channel top. So investment grade material here. If we close above the 171.52 channel top by a 1% margin, it is the kind of trade you can buy Apple and just put it in your back pocket for months to come, because I think that is then the play. Until then, we can top out here at 171.52 through the third quarter, maybe even into later year. We could fall back from here. So that is the big picture. Let's talk about the day itself. I've got a lot going on here. Lots of numbers here to show you. 164.67, that 1 week descending channel top that we pushed through early on Thursday. This rally then played out almost to this trend line here, 169.22. I have these as really all minor points. 164.67, if it were to be tested today, can contain session weakness, and above which, as I mentioned in yesterday's, that is Thursday's Apple report, closing above this should yield the 171.52 level within 3 to 5 days. I think over the next 2 or 3 days, it's likely potentially today. Now, yes, I have 169.22, minor point only. 169.80 is a 1% reach into that 171.52 long-term resistance area. So 169.80 is the beginning of the zone to take profits. If you bought the low 170s, the 170, 172 out of the money calls that we had been recommending a number of times, initially I think the most recently was several months ago in early February when we closed above this channel top, and then about a month ago when we pushed through the low 160s. So taking profits in the low 170s, whether that is selling the stock itself or liquidating your out of the money calls, that really is the play. And so here we are. If we happen to push into the low 170s today, you could, now this channel bottom is changing. For every time we push through this line, it's going to change. But you could, if we tested 171.52, reach for 162 or 163 out of the money puts that don't expire for at least a couple of weeks. That would be the near-term play. Selling the low 170s in anticipation perhaps of the low 160s within a week or two. Overall, I'll go back to this chart. This number will change. Now, this trend line, I forget where it is. Here it is. It's at 170.76. You've got respectable, I might as well continue with the upside here. 170.27, session containment. That is a channel top the last couple of weeks. And it is inside that 1% zone that begins at 169.80. So pushing through 169.80, 170.27 in reach, 170.27 able to contain daily buying pressures. And because it is really smack dab in the middle of that 1% zone, I don't have a problem if you sell this as a 2 or a 3 or a 4-star resistance area, because it has that sort of ability, perhaps, 170.27. Despite the fact it's only 2 weeks in the making, we could quite easily from there fall back into the low 160s within a week or two, fall back into the low 150s within a month or so, fall back into the low 140s and climbing, I should say, over the next few months. All of these levels are realistic once we actually test that low 170s long-term resistance on the weekly chart right here. So I'm going to cover the day, and then I think that will be about it. A 166.84. You know, I scratch my head over this. What is the intraday downside pivot point for the day whereby we could actually anticipate 164.67? There's a lot of levels there, all kinds of things to choose from, Fibonacci's over the last couple of days, former high settlement, so forth and so on. But I'm going to go with 166.84, this former pullback high that held and we fell off. I think that gives the market a little breathing room. You know, we had 167.63 on Thursday. That is the high settlement price. We closed above it. So I think in terms of downside pullback, a couple more points, a point and a half actually, 166.84, able to contain intraday weakness, and above which I think that 170.27 channel top I mentioned a moment ago. Do I have that covered here? Bear with me. I'm going to find it again. Is it here? Yes. No, it's not. 170.26. I could rifle through numerous charts here, and there it is, 170.27. So holding above 166.84, 170.27 in reach today. Breaking or opening below 166.84, you should allow for 164.67 today, where we can bottom out for the day and possibly bounce here into early next week, back into the low 170s. Closing below 164.67, we are destined to test 161.36 probably on Monday, where we could bottom out through next week and turn back up again from there. I don't think there's really anything else that needs to be said. I'm pushing 8 minutes here. Please click like, subscribe, check out wickedstocks.com. You will not regret it, and you can bail after 5 days if you don't like it. That's all I've got. I'll be back Sunday afternoon with Monday's Apple Report. You have a great weekend.